since you have an issue with my collapse.
Bro, that was crisp.
That was crisp. PTC Cast, episode 12. Right? 12?
Yes.
12. We're here. We're about it. We're about to make it happen.
We about it.
We are. So, last night, Chris blew a tire. Tell me
It
the
wasn't
story.
last night.
Oh, it
It
wasn't?
was the night before last
The
night.
night before last night.
Yeah.
Tell me the story.
I guess, I don't know. Like, I finished moving everything.
Yeah.
And on the way home, it was like 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And, I was all stressed out and everything. But I was happy that, everything was done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started smelling like smoke. And I was like, ah.
While you were driving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I knew that it was my car because, I don't know, something was just telling me. And then I pulled off and sure enough, my tire was flat. And at the time, I thought it was just flat. So I was like, I was honestly, like I told you, my bad.
You're good.
I got this gap and it just sprinkles out spit.
You're good.
I was actually really happy that, I know this may sound stupid, I was excited that my tire, went flat and I had to change it.
Yeah.
Because, I moved out of my parents' house. I'm starting this next part of my life and I just love going all in and, changing. And the fact that this happened as soon as I was, I thought that I was done.
Yeah.
And I was going to go home and go to sleep.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let's do this.
Right.
So,
it was,
I got out.
It was the universe challenging you.
Yeah, it was the universe challenging me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a challenge to like put me down. It was I felt like it was just to remind me like, hey, no matter what happens, life happens and you have to either react to it positively with excitement or you can be, oh, poor me.
Yeah.
I have to change this tire after all this work that I did.
Yeah.
No, man. I got out and I was listening to Earl Nightingale's The Key to Success.
Yeah.
And I got out and I saw the tire and I was like, heck yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
I popped the trunk open,
Yeah.
took the spare out and started changing the tire. It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
The cranking,
Yeah.
all that. But, every time that the crank would fall out of the thing, I was just that much more happy because I don't know what it was, but it was just like improvement,
I'm glad you immediately went to where I was trying to go with that, which was your response to the scenario and the way you chose to be positive and attack the situation, which it seems like something like small and silly, like changing a tire. But like, recently I've really had the concept of problems in my brain. And just as far as what are problems and how do we respond to things that we think happen to us that, when we think the world is out to get us. Recently, there was a girl in Prosper named Michaela who had a tumbling accident and she can now not walk.
I heard that, yeah.
So she's this, top tier cheerleader. I don't really know the details or whatever, but, just imagine waking up one day and you can't walk. That's a problem, man. That's a serious issue. But, popping a tire, maybe it's a problem, but when you sit there and think, oh, you can call those two things problems, your opinion on
there's a scale.
There's a scale, and it's like, man, is it worth getting upset over something like that? Is it worth like letting it ruin your day, like knowing that someone out there is having real problems? Like if this is your worst day, man, that's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, man. Like I really can appreciate your perception and the kind of the way you approach things like that. And I try to do that the same in my own life. And something else that, is kind of in that same school of thought is Jocko's whole concept with good, right? Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Yeah, man. And the first time I ever heard a speech on it, like, it gave me chills and everything.
Your tire
but
blew
essentially,
out? Good.
Good. Yeah, good. But, man, and without getting too deep into that specifically, but it's just like the whole thing is, you have a problem, good, solve it, attack it, make it better. It's there to challenge you. It's there to change your perception. It's there to make you think. It gave you practice. Whatever it may be, like there's some good in every scenario, man. And so I think a big part of it is how you perceive the scenario,
Yeah, and I think attacking problems positively over a long period of time, it really does build character. Because, I'm sure that if problems were popping up in the past, and I was reacting to them negatively, and it got to the point where this tire did pop.
Right.
That could have ruined my night, and that could have been, the catalyst to anxiety breakdown or something like that. But the fact that, this, my parents know this, all the people around me know this, no matter what happens, like, I'm just happy. Even when I do get pissed off here and there, they're usually for short periods of time. And then I realize, or I remember just how great this life is and how lucky I am. And, that flips a switch back to being happy. And so if you're able to, maintain this happiness, this hunger, this drive, if you're able to do that, then whenever times do get hard, and I'm not saying that, a pop tire is, hard times, but whenever times do get hard,
when a small problem comes up, when a problem, that's not even a problem, but you know what I mean? Go on.
Whenever they get bigger, guess what? I'm going to be ready for that.
Right.
Or at least I'm going to be more ready than if these little problems were affecting me in a, really negative way.
Right. I would like to replace the word happy there with gratitude, man.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a big part of it. I don't think it does much for people to sit here and say like, oh, I'm happy, so this is good. But it's like you feel those feelings and you perceive things that way because you're grateful that that's your problem.
Yeah.
You're grateful that that's your worst day is the pop tire. You know what I'm saying? So it's when you keep the gratitude in the back of your brain, when you think every day that like, man, how lucky am I to be walking, to be able to breathe, to get out of bed. You know what I mean? Like just things like that, man. Like that's what changes that perception. That's what, to your point is like, that's how you feel happy about it is because, man, you're grateful. And that's important. Yeah.
And if you walk through life, feeling this gratitude, feeling this sense of just gratefulness, whenever you do feel down, you will find opportunities to express that gratitude, and you'll find opportunities to get you back on track.
Yeah.
Because if you're practicing gratitude day in, day out, unconsciously, you're always going to be finding or trying to look for gratitude and optimism and all of that. So, like, again, this past week has been hectic as hell for me.
Yeah.
But I've found that every time I've gotten into a stump this past week and I start losing a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's, I think it's because of all that time for me being optimistic. What happens is something pops out, somebody says something, or I see something, hear something to remind me of just how grateful I am in life. And then boom, I'm no longer feeling negative. I'm no longer feeling anxious, hopeless. I'm no longer feeling any of these emotions. Yeah. Like, it's almost, it refills my passion just instantly. Yeah. And, a lot of people, whenever they do get hit and they do get knocked down, they're in that stump for, months long. Right. Or maybe, even years. Right. But what happens if you're able to kick that shit within a second of hearing something and you just remember your values and you remember your beliefs, your gratitude, and you're able to get back on track in your life and you're able to pursue those goals or, whatever you're pursuing in life right now, and just get back on track and focus on what you need to focus on. Right. Like, that's powerful, man.
I agree, man. And that's all just taking the choice of, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to look at things and I'm going to think, okay, I'm grateful for this. Like, this is okay. It's not letting yourself wallow. It's not giving yourself pity. It's not, it's a conscious choice, man. And I think some people I don't want to say aren't capable, but haven't figured out how to make that choice and then figured out that it's like with anything, it's a skill. It's the discipline. It's the practice to be able to take the step back, to seriously evaluate from a bird's eye view and think, where am I at? What's going on in this scenario? Is this as bad as I think it is? Am I caught up in some sort of emotions, something like that? And you can evaluate and be like, okay, no, this is not a big deal. I can attack this. I can get through this. I'm grateful for this problem. Let's move forward. So,
and usually, I know you said that it's a conscious choice. Usually, the unfortunate thing is it's not a conscious choice. Because of all these emotions, because of all these life experiences, whenever something happens to them, and, I still fall victim to this all the time, even though I'm getting better. Because of those life experiences and those instant, finding ways to just look at the negative outlook, your body will make that decision unconsciously.
Yeah.
So if you get, let's say, you know, somebody says something to you and, you know, they didn't intend for you to take it a certain way, but you do take it a certain way. Well, you have this point in your head where you have to decide whether you're going to take it offensively or whether you're not.
Yeah.
But what happens is a lot of people, they just automatically default to it being offensive.
Yeah.
Or
do you immediately take it to heart, or do you take a second to think, does this have some value to it? Is there something I could learn? Is this something I could pay attention to?
Yeah, and it's not only, you know, I gave that example of, you know, what people say and you take it offensive, but it can be, you know, the pop tire. It can be, you know, you're heading somewhere and you ran out of gas. It can be anything that's just inconvenient.
Right.
You know, there's a choice that is, you know, being made, whether you take it positively or maybe not positively, but not as negative, or you take it just fully negative.
Yeah.
But
you go on the offense instead of being under attack.
Yeah, but you just got to make those conscious decisions. And it's hard as hell when you're charged with emotions and all of these, you know, things to make that, you know, better choice on the outlook of life. But it just takes practice, man.
Right. And something that was big for me in that thought process was changing my thoughts from things happen to me to things happen for me.
Yes.
You know, and that's the same thing as I have to do something, or I'm going to do, or I want to do something. Like, you know, I think our vocabulary and the way we frame our thoughts is a big piece of that, because, you know, if you have to go to work, if you have to pick up your kids, if you have to work out, if you have to do these things, you're making those things not your choice, but something you're a victim to, something you're, you know, responsible. Yeah, man, responsible for, you know. And and a lot of the times those things are choices, and those things are things that you get to do. Like, you get to work out, man. You get to go to work. You chose that job. That's what you wanted, you know. If you don't want it, do something different, or embrace it and try to be better at it. But that's with anything, you know. You don't like the way training feels, you don't like what you're doing, try something different.
Yeah.
Just take a break, come back to it. But it's all about your perception around things, man. As soon as you drive the boat, as soon as you don't have to use the word have and you can use the word get, the better, man. And that's part of the gratitude practice too.
Yeah, it's taking full responsibility. That's what it is. It's either, you know, you can have, like you said, you can have things happen to you, or you can have things happen for you. And if you're taking full responsibility, then everything is happening for you.
Right.
And at least in that way, you're always in control.
Yeah.
But if you have it the other way, then, you know, you're not always in control, and that, you know, that can lead to a victimhood mentality, which is a downward spiral. Right.
And I think part of it too is the willingness to be on offense versus being on defense. You know, it's, you know, if something happens to you, it's attacking you, it's coming for you, it has you anxious, it has you feeling whatever. But if you are going to fix a problem, not a problem is happening to you, that changes the parameters, right? That changes the way it's going to be perceived.
Yeah.
So,
and perception is everything, man. Like, I guess that's what this whole podcast is about, right?
Right.
Just the perception that you have on life.
Right.
And it's literally the difference between happiness and, you know, sadness, or confusion and of just focus or alignment. Right. You know, if you don't have the right perception in life, then what's the point?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if you're just going to be a victim every day, if some things are going to happen to you, if you got to do these things, if, you know, I mean, these are all choices, man. And if you truthfully can't get to a place where you're grateful for them, or you can change your perception around them, make the choice to change them. You know, whatever that means to you, start taking steps today. You know, if you can't change it immediately, like it's a job change, like it's a life change, like something like that, you can at least be taking the steps. You can be planning, you can be moving in that direction, and that alone gives you something to look forward to and to start changing that perception and make it a little bit easier on yourself.
Make sure that cord doesn't step on that. But, you know, when I was driving here, I was listening to the Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster, and in there, Darren Hardy, he was talking about passion, and in there he was also talking about, you know, what you hate, in order to, you know, be passionate about something, because, you know, hate and love are two different sides of the same coin. And I was thinking about
hate
what I hate.
gives you some more offense, man. It's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of that dark side. It's a little bit of that, like, these are the things I want to prevent. These are the things that I stand against.
Yeah.
And these are the things that fuel me. It's having, $100 to run towards, but it's also having a dog chasing your ass.
Yeah, man.
It's you got to have something to go towards, and you have to have something to run away from.
Mm-hmm. And when we were just talking about what we were just talking about, I felt these emotions come up, and I realized it's because in the car I was thinking about what I hate, and I was also thinking about what I love.
What do you hate?
I hate complacency. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have the right perception on life, and if you're not in control, then what happens is you become complacent.
Sure.
If something's working for you right now, then, and you don't have full control of your life and where you're going,
right,
and your ambitions and all of that, then you're going to become complacent,
right.
And that's
the good versus great conversation, man. It's I have a good job, but I could have a great job. I have a good scenario, but I could have a great scenario. It's the not settling. It's the going the extra mile to get, the extra piece of bread, the extra cash, the extra whatever it is to you. Like, yeah. It's putting in the extra work to get the extra ounce. Mm-hmm. Mm.
And if you're not in full control, you won't become great.
Okay.
You won't keep on.
Yeah.
And it's not even, I understand that maybe not everybody wants to become great, but you won't always be happy because you won't always be working towards something.
Sure.
If you're just complacent.
Yeah. Humans are creatures that need goals.
Yeah, we need goals, man. We need to strive for something.
Yeah. No matter how small, no matter how big, like, we need something to motivate, to fuel us, to something that makes it more than just living, something that makes it more than just surviving, right? Mm-hmm. Something that gives you something to be grinding towards, to working towards, a future vision, something to keep you motivated and inspired.
Yeah, man. So how do you work toward, I guess, a positive outlook on life? What do you? Is there anything that you
real
practice?
Quick. So hang on. So that's what you hate. What do you love?
The opposite of complacency. I love progress.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, like if I choose to do something, I want to keep on moving, like keep on sprinting toward that. I think that's why I get so addicted with work. That's why I get so addicted with powerlifting. Mm-hmm. That's why, I lost 125 pounds in 2.5 months.
Yeah.
It's because I like just fucking. I didn't want to say the F word. I know. I've said plenty of F words on here, man. But I just want to keep on sprinting toward whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's the opposite of complacency. It's just, I guess, drive and just progression.
You want to feel like you're striving.
That's what I want.
Okay. All right.
That's what I need to be happy.
Yeah. So what did you ask me?
What do you practice in order to keep a positive outlook on life?
Has to be gratitude. It's gratitude. Yeah, that's right. It's nothing but gratitude, man. Like,
but is there like any daily practices that you do, like something specific?
I had like a pretty good routine there for a while where, like, as I was brushing my teeth, like, I would just spend the time thinking of things I'm grateful for. The daily planner journal that I showed you I've been using has been a big piece of that too, which is just, you write down the tasks that you're completing for the day, but in a separate column, you also write the things you get to do that day, which is, get gratitude, enjoy. Mm-hmm. It's something that's fulfilling you, you're
like showing appreciation for yourself.
That's been a big thing too. And man, you can put everything on there. Like, there's a lot of little things you can put on there that I think people don't appreciate. They think that it's normal. It's, but like I got to go get a cup of coffee with Sil today. So, like, we took a little drive. I got a cup of coffee. It was awesome.
It's a reward.
I get to walk Cora and Morty every morning. Like, I get to do these cool little things. I get to go to dinner with Brianna tonight. Like, I get to record these podcasts. I get to film some reels and work out with Landry later. So, like, there's a lot of things that, like, you get to do, man. You get to go to work because some people don't even have a job or they can't work. You get to, you get to spend time with your family because some people aren't in a scenario where they've lost their family, So there's a lot to be grateful for, and there's a lot to focus your gratitude around. But I would say the whole perception lies in your base of that, man. Like, it lies in that. It's the gratitude, and it's the willingness to take on a challenge and to be not even aggressive, not even offensive, but maybe just assertive to tackle the problem instead of letting the problem happen to you, Mm-hmm.
So I know you just said that you get to do this, you get to do that. What was there ever a switch that was like flipped in your head that, I guess gave you this perspective? Because I guess, so for example, you just said, you get to work, and some people, they don't have jobs or, something like that in order to get that opportunity to work.
Right.
So what made you think about the other people? Like, do you think that that's a good way to like get a perspective on the gratitude in your life?
Yeah. Well, yeah, man, because I've seen it, I've seen people who can't find a job in their field or can't find a career start or can't, some people who don't even know what they want to do or they haven't even taken the step yet. And so I don't know, man, I think it's an important thing to keep in mind because that can help you frame that perception a little bit. It's kind of a, it's kind of an involvement of the whole, like, finish your food because there's someone somewhere who doesn't have any. It's the same idea. It's like, you don't have to have this thing. Like, you're pretty lucky to have this thing, this opportunity, this whatever it is. So it's like, be grateful for that, man. But what made me think of that, I don't know. Maybe just the perception, the thought process. Yeah, seeing it, because there's always things. I mean, it could be whatever. It could be, someone who isn't as financially well off or someone who hasn't had as many opportunities or hasn't been, as lucky, or, what I mean? Like, everybody starts this life from a different point. And so I think, it's pretty part of not being, maybe narcissistic is the wrong word, but narrow-minded and close-eyed to other scenarios, Empathy. You have to, yeah, maybe empathy, but more so just, I guess you could use the word empathy, but it's not like I feel bad or anything like that, but I just feel sympathy? I feel lucky.
Yeah.
I feel lucky.
Yeah, man. That's good.
That's the big thing. Like, I feel lucky, man. For sure. So that's it for me. What about for you?
The practices that I do.
Mm-hmm. Or is it more than gratitude for you? Is there something else?
I think it was, and I've said this a couple times, but the fact that I've been, the most pessimistic person, that
you know what it feels like.
Yeah, I know what it feels like to not have any hope.
Yeah.
And to not have any drive or like, anything. I know how that side of the coin, feels like and looks like, and it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
It sucks. Yeah. And, now that I have the opportunity to be on this side of the coin, like, it's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't care, what happens.
What were some of the steps that it took to flip that coin? I mean, where did it start? What was the catalyst?
Checking my reality.
Okay. What do you mean?
Think or seeing what I've been doing, for the past couple of years, how much weight that I've gained, the fact that I am still living with my parents, not anymore, by the way, just moved out, and I had no career.
Yeah.
I was working at a seafood restaurant or a seafood counter at Market Street.
Yeah,
like, I just wasn't where I wanted to be.
Sure.
If I was 18 and I was looking at myself,
you expected more out of
yourself. At the age of 22, I would be like, what went wrong?
Yeah.
And I guess seeing that, I wanted to
made you want to change. Yeah.
Yeah, and then my family, man.
Okay.
For some reason, I look at my siblings, and mostly Caleb and Ariana. I'm sure that when my baby brother Knox gets older, I'll feel the same way for him. But right now, he's he's a baby, so he doesn't really understand or like perceive a bunch of things that we're doing. But I look at Ariana and I look at Caleb, and I feel like I have this obligation to become something for them.
Sure.
I have to show them that anything is possible.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I actually have this opportunity to do so, and I'm not buried from having a heart attack at 400 pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to waste it. I'm day in, day out. I'm hustling. I'm doing, and that's such a funny word, like hustling, but
no, I know what you mean.
Like,
you're working your ass off, man.
Yeah.
Trying to put your best foot forward every day. I mean, I think
man.
You can call it work, you can call it what you want, but I think it's the intent to go out every day with your best, whether that means effort, whether that means kindness, whether that means whatever it means to you, but putting your best foot forward every day. So for you to have gotten from one side to the other side, what was the change in values? What did you value before and what do you value now?
That's a really good question. Before, I valued myself.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean when you say yourself? Your perception of yourself, your ego,
before I valued the next day.
Okay.
That's all that I valued.
Yeah.
What I could do the next day or what I could do the next hour, whether that's, hit another PR in lifting or, watch a TV show that's fun to me or play a video game, at that moment.
You're waiting for the next pleasure.
Yeah, the next pleasure. That's what it was. Yeah. But now, like, my values are, how long or the longevity of my life so that I can be there for my family, how much work that I'm actually going to put in, like focused work that I'm actually going to put in order to build something for my family, and then just really battling complacency, or averageness, or non-progression.
Right.
Like it's those three things, I guess, that
you don't want to be stagnant.
Really drive me. Yeah, I don't, man.
Yeah.
I just want to, like I said earlier, I just want to keep on sprinting toward where I'm going.
Right.
And not stop. Just get faster.
Yeah.
And faster as I go.
Yeah.
So did that answer the values?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I think I think you maintain that fire, that feeling by setting goals, and that takes deciding what you want. That takes deciding, making a choice. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a big piece of it is keeping that fire lit, keeping that flame fanned.
Yeah. One quick side note: when it comes to keeping the fire lit, mm-hmm. I've learned, and I don't remember if you taught me this or if I learned it from somewhere else, but the practice of just showing up.
Yeah.
Like the practice of, no matter what's going on in your life, just doing what you can. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I've been able to constantly keep consistent is my morning routine mm-hmm. and my nightly routine. Nice. And, if that's I can, huge. Most of the time I'll hit those, 2 to 3 tasks mm-hmm. that I have to get done during the day. But at least I'm getting the morning routine exactly right. Yeah. And I get aligned, for the rest of the day. And then I finish off the day exactly right. Yeah. So no matter what happens, I'm always showing up. Right. And doing what I can do.
Right. I like that. Yeah, I think that's a big piece of it is, even if it's showing up and knowing you're not going to make any progress, showing up just to maintain the damn routine.
Yeah, and you'll have a lot of the times, what I've noticed is that when you do show up and you don't think that you can make a lot of progress or something like that, it's almost like, you've trained yourself like a dog whistle or something. As soon as you do show up, it's like a switch gets flipped mm-hmm. and
you're ready.
And you're ready. Yeah. You're literally ready to do whatever it is you're showing up for. I've
had several phenomenal workouts that I didn't even want to start. That it was seriously up in the air if they were going to be started. Yeah. And I've had several workouts that were not great that I didn't want to start. But you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is just show up for it. Yeah. And then you're building your character, man. Yeah. Show up. If you're able to show up at the worst of the worst times, mm-hmm. just imagine when you're at the best of the best. Yeah. Just imagine what you can do.
That's a great point.
Like, you'll be unstoppable. Mm-hmm. You know, and you're prepping, even if, you're at the lowest of the low right now, if you're showing up, you're prepping yourself to become the best of the best.
Yeah, 100%.
So just show up.
Imagine how you're going to feel next time you're fired up.
Yeah, man, you're going to feel freaking amazing. Yeah, you're going to be ready to go.
Yeah. 100%, man. Yeah, I think that's huge. I think showing up is huge, man.
Uh-huh. Damn. Get that dog mentality.
Yeah. Every damn day.
Every day, man.
Every day, man. That's awesome. All right, let's wrap this one up.
Yeah, man. Let's
PTC Cast, episode 12. Thank you all, as always, for listening. I'm Alex Martin. You can follow us at Progress Through Change and my personal bodybuilding log, which is at Alex Chris Martin. This is Cholito Saldana, who you can follow
me at Instagram, Cholito Saldana. Mm-hmm. I think that's my other social media handles.
Okay.
Just Cholito Saldana.
Boom, you got it. It'll be in the description too.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one.